Hello my friends, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. So today I have another fun fold template project for you to do. This one I'm referring to as the open front fold, and that we open the front of the card up, okay, to make this fun fold. So, but the nice thing is that with this fold, the piece that you're cutting out is going to become the front focal point. So we don't really waste any cardstock whatsoever. So I've had a few questions of people who have signed up or wanted to sign up for my Fun Fold class in the mail. So I wanted to show you what you actually get when you sign up for that class. So one, you'll see my video here on my YouTube channel, and I'll take you through from start to finish how to look at your template, prep your materials, and then I'll make a fun current card for you. So I'm going to do that in just a moment. But before I do that, I want to show you what my customers are getting in the mail from me. So you get a pre-made template, okay, just like the one I'm working off of. It won't be the same papers, but the same template. Everything is marked out for you, and the tutorial measurements are on the back. So you can go right to your paper cutter with your supplies and just follow right down and cut all your materials. You also get the printed out tutorial. Okay, it has the measurements and the step-by-step instructions, which I'll go through on the video. But if you're more of a reader, if you don't want to have your camera on or your TV on or whatever it is you use to look at YouTube videos, you can just refer to the printed tutorial. And then you also get a practice kit. So this is a practice kit that I've pre-cut. It's all retired papers, so that's the way it goes. So everything is scored, the materials are cut to size, and then you can practice making the fun fold without having to do any prep. So in the mail you're going to get the tutorial, the template, the practice kit. You'll also get an email from me when I ship your stuff with a tracking number, and you'll get a link for the PDF tutorial if you want to save it to your computer. Okay, so you don't have to keep track of the paper, you just save it on your computer as an electronic file. Okay, so that's what you get in my kit, and I actually do 2 fun folds a month, so you get 2 different ones in your kit each month. So in case you're wondering, in case you're like, maybe I want to sign up, maybe I don't want to sign up, what's going on here, that's what you get. Okay, you get 2 templates in the mail each month. I charge $12 currently for the Fun Fold class, and that covers my time, my materials, and the postage, which postage is, as you all know, getting up there. So out of that $12, I'm not really pocketing much because a lot of it's going to postage. Okay, so if you want to sign up, my links are below, or you can just email me at susan@pumpkinhillstampers.com, and I can get you started on participating in the class. So let me know if you're interested, and remember, you can just subscribe right here to the YouTube channels, and every time I post something, you'll get a notification that says, hey, she shared something new, and you can come see if it's a fun fold that maybe you're interested in. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with the new project now, and you'll see how the video goes. Okay, so I have my tutorial in front of me. I also have my template. I've decided I'm going to use the Rain or Shine Designer Series paper today that goes with the Playing in the Rain bundle from the spring catalog. I think this is a really cute set, and I splurged and got it, so I'm going to be using that. And I'm using 2 different papers, and as you can see, I've gone with the Flirty Flamingo color this time. So my cardstock is going to be Flirty Flamingo, and these are the 2 patterns I'm going to use. Now if you watch my videos, you're going to know that I've used some of this paper in a couple of videos recently, so I have just a small bit of this piece here that I'm going to use, but I'm using this side today, and then I have this large 12 by 12 piece. So you don't necessarily have to start with a 12 by 12 every time you are going to make your own project, right? Use the scraps that you have that might be the right size or might be large enough to get what you need out of them. So here we go. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer so that we can get started. So the first thing I do after I decide on what papers and colors I'm going to use, what stamp set I'm going to use, so everything kind of coordinates, then I just take my papers to my paper trimmer scorer, and I go ahead and I cut my materials. So this one tells me I need a card base of 11 by 4 1/4. So 11, I put this at 4 1/4, and I'm just going to cut that in half. Okay? Then it tells me to score my base at 5 1/2. So I'm just going to open this up, I'm going to put it in 5 1/2. And the nice thing with this paper trimmer is that the scoring blade and the cutting blade are on there at the same time. Just remember to use the right one. So score that at 5 1/2. So I basically just scored it in the middle like a standard base. Okay, it's just a standard base. But now, here's the next step. Cut off. Okay, this is where we're going to open up the front. Cut off 4 1/4, so that's my width, by 1 1/2, and then by 2 1/2. So I'm just going to stick this in here at 1 1/2. There's my first cut, and then I want to go 2 1/2. This is the center section. Cut that off. So now I have my 2 sections and my base card. Okay, my 2 sections and my base card. Okay, so now I need my designer series paper pieces, right? So for the front, I'm going to use this one for the top and bottom panel. Okay, for the panel that goes here and here, I'm going to use this one. So for that panel, I know I need 4 by 1 1/4, and I need 2 of them. So I'm going to turn this on its side. I happen to know it's 8 inches, so I'm going to cut it at 4. Cut it at 4. Yep, right there. Okay, and then I'm going to use this one in a minute, and I'm going to use this one for the top and bottom. So these need to be 1 1/4. So I'm actually going to do 2 1/2, because that's 1 1/4 twice. Trim that piece off first, and then I'm just going to cut it in half at 1 1/4. Then I'll have my top and my bottom piece for my card. Oh no, it went twisted. Shoot. All right, let's try again. See if I can salvage it. Maybe. Okay. It's not perfect, but it'll work. Okay, so I've got my 1 1/4 and my 1 1/4 by 4. I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to salvage that. All right. Well, that's what you would have done, but I'm going to trim mine down just because that was a really sloppy cut. So for this one, I'll just trim it down to 1 for this actual project. So sometimes you just got to make adjustments as you're working with materials. If you cut something wrong, make an adjustment, right? You don't have to throw it away and start over again. So I'll just trim it down so it's nice and even, and it'll just be a little bit thinner on this project, but that's okay. All right, so now I have to do my center section here, right? And I wanted to use this one. So this one says 4 by 2 1/4. So you can either see it here, or you actually look where it's going to be on the card and do it on your template. So that's 4, and I want 2 1/4, and I'm going to be really careful to hold it steady this time so it doesn't slide on my base. There. Okay. So that's going to be this piece here, which will be mounted on there. So see how everything kind of gets framed? Okay. So then I have my inside. Now normally I would say use a piece of basic white or whatever. I'm going to do mine a little different. I'm going to use this really pretty pattern as my inside piece. So I need 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so this is going to be the inside piece of my project. But if you want to just go with a basic white or a basic vanilla color, you could do that. But I'm going to go with this on the inside. Now sometimes when I do that, I'll put a piece of vellum over the top to kind of lighten it. But I'm going to do something a little different. So this is different than what your template and your project are going to be. But this is the way I'm going to do my card today. So remember, these are just templates. They're a starting place. And what you actually do with them is a little different. So I'm going to go ahead and make the project, and then I'll come back and do my inside in just a minute. Okay, so now if you have all your basic pieces, you can start assembling, really. So I'm going to get my liquid glue. So one piece is going on the bottom, and one's going to go on the top. Kind of like a header and a footer. And remember, mine, I messed up on the paper cutter, so mine are a little bit thinner than normal, but I'm going to just go with it. If I really wanted to, I could trim these down as well so that it didn't look so off, but I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. so this is going there. And this one's going to end up in the bottom. Okay, but we need to do our center section first. I can go ahead and put my liner in. Okay, so I've got my top, my bottom, my liner. Now let's work on this front piece. So before I adhere that, I want to do some stamping. So I took my coordinating dies and the coordinating paper that has all the little characters on it, and I went ahead and trimmed out one of the cute little bunnies. And of course I picked the one with the flirty flamingo jacket. So everything's still coordinating, right? And then I've got this fun pattern behind. So this guy's going to be popped up on here on a dimensional. I'm going to go ahead and use the daisy stamp and do some daisy stamping on my DSP. Okay, so I'm going to add to my pattern paper. So just some really quick stamped daisies here, just to add a little bit of background stamping, right? And then I also have the clouds. So I'm going to go ahead and ink those up. And I'm going to stamp some clouds here at the top, just to kind of give my character a little bit of a background to be hopping along. And then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. I'm going to pop up my little bunny on my dimensionals. So now how many of you are thinking Easter card, right? Yes, it could certainly be an Easter card. It could be a birthday card. It could be a happy spring card, whatever you want to do. So my little bunny's going to be dancing in her daisies, just like that. So then this piece is going to go right on here. Okay, now here's where it's not tricky. I was going to say it gets tricky. It doesn't get tricky. It's not tricky. It just takes a little bit of practice. So I'm going to score this so it's going to lay down nice and flat for me. So here's what I do. I put my bottom on just over the top and hold it in place. Okay, so that's level right with the bottom of my project. And there's my top. I just take my green glue and I put a little here, I put a little here, right? Make sure you're all squared up. I nudged it a little bit. Then I just put this right down on the top. Okay, don't try to put the glue on the back side and not get it on the inner panel. Just put it on the top of where you know it'll be safe, and then just press this panel down to it. Okay, you certainly could use dimensionals if you wanted to as well. I'm just not making mine super thick, so I don't have trouble in the mail. But whatever you want to do. So I think that is super cute with all that pink coming through and with that pattern in the back. So now here's where I differ a little bit from my template, right? That's basically what the template says. Okay, there's all your pieces. Now I'm going to make mine a little bit different. I'm going to bring in another piece of white cardstock. And I think I need to trim it down just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to hide it. Watch this, I'm going to hide it. So I know this piece of my Flirty Flamingo cardstock is, if I look at my template right, is 2.5. So I'm going to cut this at 2 1/4. 2 1/4, and I'm going to leave it, I think it's probably at 4, but let's double check. Yeah, it's a little bit longer than 4. Okay, so 2 1/4 by 4. So this piece is the same size as that piece on this particular project. And here's what I thought I would do. I'm going to stamp my greeting on there. And I'm going to use the Oh Happy Day because I think that's a really fun greeting. And I'm going to stamp that right here. And then what I want to do is I'm going to position this inside my card, right? So it's hidden. It's not going to differ from all those pink flowers, but it's going to be hidden behind my little bunny there. Now, some people are going to say, how are you going to position that and make sure it's going to be hidden? Well, it's not that hard to see that it's right behind here, right? It's right behind there. So I'm just going to add some adhesive and put this right in here. Just press that down. And now I've got my fun fold with my surprise sentiment on the inside. So there you go. All right, so now you see how from start to finish, right? You can follow my tutorial here on the YouTube channel. You can see my post on my blog. Links are all below. And if you want to join us and do some fun crafting with fun folds each month, contact me and I'll get you started. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll give it a try, and contact me, like I said, if you want to join the fun. All right, have a great day and do some fun stamping. Bye.